First of all, welcome to
we started.
to the game drive.
Oh, it's already recording.
Yeah, it's recording.
Okay,
They're all recording.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Karibu sana. You said you've come here before once.
Yeah.
How was your experience in Nairobi National Park?
It was awesome. Although I would have loved it if they had elephants, but then I was told they can't have elephants because of the size of the park.
Yes.
Yeah.
They can't. But I like going to the park in the morning.
Yeah. I was told in the morning it's because the animals hunt. And maybe you get to catch a kill. That's why.
Yes, and also, another good thing about the morning game drive is usually because of the dew in the morning, the grass is wet.
Okay.
So most animals don't like that wet grass. So they end up walking on the paths.
Okay.
So especially the cats, because they don't have hooves.
Yeah.
Their paws get wet wakikanyaga nyasi in the morning.
And
so they
don't like
prefer,
it,
so that's how they come out. And then you can get to see them. And then eventually by 9-8 a.m. wanarudi ndani ya the grasslands. And so it's also a really good time to have a morning game drive.
Yeah.
You remember how we met?
Yeah.
At Nairobi National Museum.
Yeah, on the Sudan.
Yes, during the
handing over.
The handing over of the taxidermy of Sudan.
Yeah.
It was a celebration, but also a sad moment because it's celebrating extinction of a species, of a subspecies, the Northern White Rhino.
The Cabinet Secretary underscored Kenya's commitment to ensuring that endangered species are protected.
As a wildlife journalist, where do you think we are heading to? What's the future of conservation? Because now we are already witnessing extinction of a subspecies.
Okay. Yeah, in Africa, we don't take animals, or we don't appreciate them. Yeah, we don't really appreciate them. And until we learn to appreciate these animals and what we have, is when I feel like we can start the conservation efforts, because conservation starts with the people around, or the people who live with wildlife. And when it comes to, let's say, still using the Northern White Rhinos and the extinction, we're told there are only two left in the wild. That's Najin and Fat. I'm so glad I got the opportunity to meet them.
Yes, you've met them, yeah?
Yeah, I've met them. I went there for a story in Pejeta. So in my story, when I was doing my research, I found that the major cause of the extinction was the humans.
Okay.
Yeah, we humans, because it comes down to poaching and then human-wildlife conflict. And then usually we say drought, but drought is like the least effects of what affects them least is drought. So major thing that affects them is humans. And I think we're the problem. So until we start addressing ourselves and how we treat these animals, our wildlife.
So let me ask you, is it because you've said there's something you say that Africans don't really appreciate wildlife? Is it because we have grown with it, so we are used to it, so we don't really care that much? Or is it because wildlife has been sold in Kenya as a prime luxury thing, mostly for foreigners or white people or people who come from countries that don't have wildlife?
Okay, let's say for example outside Africa, it's actually yesterday I was speaking to my friend who's in the US. He was telling me he's planning to go to a zoo. And the zoo has, he even sent me the Instagram profile of that zoo. It's in Arizona, United States. And the animals that are in that zoo are actually animals that are from Africa. They're lions, rhinos, name them, like leopards.
Giraffe.
Yeah, giraffe. So, and then he was telling me how much people pay. It's so expensive. To just go see these animals. But here in Africa, okay, I'll still use Kenya. So in Kenya, you just wake up and be like, that's a rhino. Oh, you just see a rhino every day. So I feel like it's people, we take it for granted. It's because we've grown up with it, and it's like it's normal to us. Yeah, so we don't really appreciate it the way we're supposed to appreciate it.
And also the interaction that domestic people or Kenyans and people from Africa get with wildlife is human-wildlife conflict. Whereby, because I live close to the park, the only way I can interact with wildlife, or it's a negative. Because the elephant has come to my farm. It has destroyed my water reservoir. It has destroyed my crops. a lion or a hyena has killed my goats and my sheep. So the interaction with wildlife is very hostile.
Yeah.
And if I want to make it a good interaction, I have to pay, a considerable amount of money to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's why I really sometimes I look at what, let's say, for example, KWS is doing here in Kenya.
Yep.
They make it so affordable for locals. Because, again, I'm taking my friends from outside Kenya to parks or museums. And then they end up paying like 10 times what I pay. For example, I took them to Snake Museum. They were Canadians. And they paid 1,500 each, 1,500 Kenyan shillings each.
This is a snake museum?
Yeah, snake museum, snake park.
Oh, snake park.
The National Museum.
Yeah.
So they paid 1,500 each, 1,500 Kenyan shillings.
Yeah.
And I paid 300.
Yes.
That's like 5 times.
That's a good thing that KWS has done.
Yeah.
It has made it cheaper for domestic tourists. To pay affordably for the product that they own as a country.
Yeah.
While someone who's coming from abroad, they have to pay more. That I agree with you with that.
Yeah.
I saw that you went, and this conversation leads to on your IG. I saw you were in Kisumu, Impala.
Impala Sanctuary.
Yes. Yeah. And you asked a question on your caption, and the question you asked was, do you think zoos or enclosures like zoos and so like the safari walk here?
Yeah.
Do you think it's appropriate to put wildlife in those kind of situations? But you never answered the question.
Yeah.
You are asking your audience.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to put you on the spot. And,
wow.
And I want to hear from your wildlife journalism point of view, what do you think? And also from your, maybe you have different views. Maybe you have one as a journalist and maybe you have one as an individual tourist. What are your views on zoos and enclosed areas for wildlife?
Okay, I think I'm going to answer this from a personal perspective, or maybe as a Kenyan.
Yes.
And as an African.
Yeah.
Well, first things first, I put that question up on Instagram because so many people were asking me that question. It's the point where it's actually the day I visited a Nairobi orphanage, and then on my stories I was putting up these animals in cages. And so many people are telling me, no, it's not good outside the country, especially. It's not good to put animals in cages. Animals have to live in their natural habitats.
Yes.
So it was somehow controversial on my Instagram DM. But answering that question from a personal perspective, I feel like, I love animals so much. And I feel like, I don't know if anyone is going to judge me for this, but I feel like it's animal cruelty from a personal perspective, because yes, animals need to be in their natural habitat, and seeing them in cages usually makes me feel sad for them. And from a journalistic or a wildlife journalist perspective, is that it's good because at the same time you get to learn about, or maybe you get, actually people who have never seen a lion very close. It's good. At that point you get a chance to see a lion very close. I'm like, oh, this is how big a lion can get. Because usually when you see these things on TV, or maybe these animals on TV, I remember before I actually saw a lion in person, the first time, I used to watch National Geographic ever since I was a young boy. Yeah. Like 90% of my time spent on TV was on National Geographic, documentaries, BBC. So all my life I thought a lion was the size of a dog.
Okay.
So until one day, it's actually the first time I saw a lion in person was still in Impala Park, Kisumu Impala Sanctuary.
Okay.
It was the first time I saw a lion. I was like, wow, this thing is actually this big. It was a male lion.
Yeah.
For example, here at the orphanage, these are animals that are brought in because they're victims to maybe their parents being killed, or maybe drought. So it's good for them. But then from a personal perspective, I don't support it, if you ask me. Yeah.
Okay. So it's, to you, it's only appropriate if it's like an orphanage setup, whereby there's no choice.
Yeah.
Because either way, if the animal or the cub was left in the park, it would die.
Yeah.
It would either get hunted or die of starvation. So it's only appropriate to have zoos or orphanages that are primarily cater for wildlife that has been abandoned or cannot take care of themselves, or they're sick. Maybe they have it's a lion that has a bad leg and it can't hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe if someone will ask me like what would be a solution to all that, maybe I know it would be hard, but sometimes maybe if they just come up with a place like this, maybe a large piece of land, and then just put the animals, but then don't cage them in very small enclosures. At least make them big for them.
Like a hybrid of a national park and a zoo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That is what safari walk is. It needs a bit of rehabilitation.
True,
and at least some renovations on it. Yeah. But that's exactly what safari walk was. Yeah. It was literally having a safari, what we are doing right now, but not in a car, but walking. Meaning the enclosures are as natural as possible. Yeah. But I can have the experience of walking through and not being in trouble or in danger. Yeah. So you grew up in Mombasa.
True. Yeah. Wow. Okay. You did a homework.
I did homework on you. Yeah. First of all, do you think? And this is very controversial. You've lived in Mombasa and Nairobi. Yeah. Which is the favorite city? Mombasa.
Yeah. So because that's where I made all my memories. So Mombasa will always be my home.
Yeah. So for me, partially, I have grown in Nairobi, and I have lived in Mombasa.
Yeah, you lived in Nyali, I remember.
Yes. Yeah. And I still think Mombasa is the best city in Kenya.
Okay.
Way better than Nairobi.
Let me tell you something about Mombasa. Can I take a photo?
Yes. We've spotted a buffalo. Yeah. And it's a male buffalo. Is it a male?
Yeah, it's a male
buffalo. They're very
aggressive.
Yes. And they are loners. They travel by themselves, but they're very dangerous.
Oh, this is a nice shot. There's a city in the background.
Yep. This is one of the most dangerous animals in this park.
Yeah, it's one of the big 5.
Yeah. Akiamua saizi kutunini hapa. But he looks very calm. I think he probably had a good night rest. So he's just... Yeah, so you're talking about Mombasa.
Yeah, so I was talking about Mombasa. I've grown up in Mombasa for all my life.
Yeah.
Actually, this month marked 1 year since I moved to Nairobi. On July 4th, marked 1 year since I moved to Nairobi. And doesn't mean like I've never been to Mombasa within this period of year, but I've stayed in Mombasa for over 24 years, or maybe 25 years. And one thing I realized about Nairobi and Mombasa is that life is cheaper in Mombasa compared to Nairobi, very cheap. And in Mombasa, life is very slow and smooth compared to Nairobi. It was very challenging for me when I got here. People from the streets, people are walking really fast, and then you have to keep up with them. I remember when I got friends in Nairobi, and then they were taking me to stage from town all the way to like Archives or maybe Afya Center. It was really challenging for me because I had to keep up with them. They're walking very fast, and then I'm asking them, we're heading home, why are we walking so fast? And they were like, that's how people walk in Nairobi. If you walk slow, they're gonna steal from you, or maybe they're gonna take your stuff. I was like, oh, okay. So I had to keep up with the pace. There was one point I actually even cried in Nairobi. Yeah, I cried because I was like, I can't keep up with this.
It's too fast.
Yeah, I just had to like, that day it was really raining, and then my shoes got wet, and then they got torn. My sole came off, both shoes. Yeah. And then it was during that time. Okay, I came for that for attachment in Nairobi, and it was during that time COVID, and then you had to put on mask. And then on the same day when it was really raining, and then I was like, let me take off my mask. This has been a bad day. Immediately I just put it up like this, cuffs on me.
What?
Yeah.
You were arrested?
Yeah, arrested.
What?
Imagine.
For being rained on?
Yeah, for being rained on, and then I just took off my mask. I just took it off.
It was during the
COVID era, yeah.
Okay.
I
So the
call it,
mask
yeah.
mandate where you had to walk with your mask.
Yeah. And then my shoes were all torn. It was really, I had a bad day.
What?
Very bad day. So after I had to talk to them, and then I gave them 500 shillings.
So you had to bribe them?
Yeah, I had to bribe them.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to say that on camera, right?
I mean, if that's what you did, that's what you did.
Okay, so I just had to talk my way out. Okay,
yeah,
and then these are gifts.
Yeah.
So I talked my way out, and then they let me off. So I had to sit down somewhere, and then that was the only money I had.
Oh God.
Yeah, because I was not getting paid at that time, so I had to sit down. I didn't have fare to get home. I remember it was at Afya Center around 11 p.m. I had a bad day. I had to sit down somewhere, and then I just cried. I cried, and then I remember when I was crying, and then I was crying at the stage.
Yeah.
And then the driver asked me, "Why are you crying?" One driver, a matatu driver, came up to me. I was like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just had a bad day." And I explained everything to him, and I was like, "So what are you planning?" I told him I don't even have fare. I gave my fare to the police. I was like, hoping I'll take you home. I was like, and then with that mentality,
so he helped you.
Yeah, he helped me. But at first I wasn't sure. Yeah, because someone who's new in Nairobi, and then you're told don't trust anyone in Nairobi. I was like, what if he does something bad to me? But then I was like, I'm desperate, so I just have to take the shot. So I did, and he took me home for free.
Yeah,
I really think that
was very kind of him.
Yeah, it was very kind of him. So I've had bad experiences, but right now I'm used to it. So
yeah, with Nairobi, there's that feeling of you feel like you need to put more effort in what you're doing. You're never doing enough. You're not sleeping enough. You're not working hard enough. You're not getting to places quick enough because of traffic. You're not eating enough. You're not having enough fun. So you're always feeling like there's a certain high you keep chasing. And it can be bad for you because if especially right now with the current state of the country, the economy and the government systems not working for a lot of people, it can be very frustrating.
In Nairobi, I feel like in Nairobi you need to have money for you to move.
And even that
every
money,
day.
And even that money is not enough.
It's also not enough. You have to have money every day.
But in Mombasa, you can have fun without.
Exactly. Okay, for me, let's say I spend roughly 500 a day.
Yes.
I spend 500 a day. That's the minimum amount of money I spend in a day.
Yes. And that 500, 300 is probably fair. Or 200 is
exactly.
fair.
200,
You're remaining with 300.
Yeah.
You have to eat.
True.
So life is very expensive.
Very expensive, yeah.
Growing up in Mombasa, what made you think you would want to be a wildlife journalist? While Mombasa, I mean, there's marine life.
But people ask me that question. So many people there's no wildlife in Mombasa. What really inspired you? So what really inspired me, like I mentioned, usually I was spending 90% of my time on National Geographic. My time spent on TV, that is. On National Geographic and wildlife documentaries. So I usually got very excited up to this point. I usually get very excited whenever I go for game drives like this. So even right now I'm trying to focus on the conversation because I'm like, oh look.
And you can see a family of buffaloes.
So just a second, let me take a video of this. I feel like I have to keep on updating my people on Instagram. So when I watch National Geographic every day, my mom. Okay, growing up, my mom was wrestling. I don't know if you used to watch wrestling.
Yes.
And then my mom never wanted us to watch wrestling.
Okay.
And at the same time, there was a point in time where we were really getting addicted to cartoons. So she didn't also want us to watch cartoons. So she usually put these National Geographic channels, wildlife channels. So you just...
So as a way to distract you from wrestling and
cartoons, because cartoons were so addictive, and then she felt like wrestling was so violent for kids. So she put National Geographic for us, and then that that's how I ended up with, like, loving animals. Yeah, it was like, wow, look at that lion. Wow, oh my God, lion killing. So that's how I ventured into wildlife, and then I ended up loving it. And then I remember I really used to hate maths.
Yes.
Yeah, so when I went to campus, there was I failed terribly in high school in mathematics. So I was actually looking for a course that would that didn't have maths. So I ended up finding journalism. So I did journalism not because I liked it, but because it didn't have maths.
It's not like accounting or computer science or whatever.
Exactly. So I did journalism, and then I finished the course. Then I was like, so in journalism you have to major. So what am I going to major? I was saying, let me look for something that I'm good in.
Yeah.
So I realized I was good in wildlife because I had so much knowledge about animals. Like, people usually think that for example, if you're a wildlife journalist, you have to, like, what you should know, like maybe the statistics of like how many lions are in Kenya, maybe in this national park. It's all about statistics when it comes to journalism. But for me, I took wildlife journalism at a personal level. The point where I studied individual animals, especially the big five. I studied all of them because it got to a point where I'm even reading books about animals. I'm looking forward to go to national parks. I volunteer at zoos, for example, in Hyla Park, in Mombasa. So that's how I ended up loving wildlife. It's something that has been in me ever since I was young. So and also I'm a person who is really daring. I'm not scared.
Yeah.
I'm not scared. I can even like walk straight into an animal. But the way that's something that's really stopping me from walking straight into animals inside parks is the laws. To be honest, just the laws.
Just the laws.
The laws of I'm trying to avoid.
And also remembering it's still a wild animal.
True, but for me, I don't put that in mind.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm just that daring. Yeah.
And that is a good segue to your video.
Yeah.
The video that went viral.
Yeah.
Because if you are scared, that moment would have never happened.
True.
It is said charity begins at home. And for these young orphaned elephants, this charitable foundation is what they call home. It is the place where they discover and are taught life's lessons, experience love, and grapple with loss. And even for millions of other species, home hangs in the balance. Human actions are destroying habitats, decimating our entire ecosystem and disrupting the circle of life. And with the rise in drought cases, it is up to us to be guardians of our own natural world, save our wild species, and provide a home.
Usually when I'm doing stories inside national parks or maybe where animals are involved, there's usually a form I sign. It's called the indemnity form. You know about that?
Yes.
Yeah, so the indemnity form, usually you sign like...
in case anything happens to you.
Yeah. You don't blame anyone for it.
You don't blame the people. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I usually sign. I even signed that at Shedrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like, at the end of the day, as much as they were still baby elephants, but they're still wild animals.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
And a baby elephant, it is a baby.
Yeah.
So you can imagine a human baby, but big.
Yeah.
So they are very playful.
Yeah.
They obviously don't want to harm you, but they don't know that they can because of their weight and their size.
Yeah, they see you. I feel like they see you like maybe like one of them.
Yeah, or like an adult elephant.
Yeah.
So they are very playful. So that moment happened. Tell me your thoughts. Okay, so it happened. You're filming. What made you think that you can just carry on? Because for me personally, 2 minutes, at a 2 minutes, a few seconds in, I'd have been like, no. When it touched your ear and then it went up all the way to your nose.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. That moment, I remember. First, let me start from the beginning, from how I got that story. I was actually speaking to Angela Shedrick.
Yes.
Yeah, Angela Shedrick.
She's the lady, the owner of that orphanage.
The trust.
The orphanage, yeah.
I was speaking to her via email for over a month for me to get that story. Yeah. I did the story on November 11th, and I started following it up, I think, on maybe September. I'm not sure. Is it September or October? It is September. I think September. to the point where I got the approval for me to shoot on that specific day, because we had to shoot. We got a chance to shoot, but then something came up inside the park, so we had to reschedule. So on that day, then Angela told me, she gave me a number of she's called Adele, someone who's at the trust, and then she's the administrator over there. So she told me, be here by exactly 7 a.m. And you know how white people can be with time.
Yeah, with time.
7,
Yes,
it's 7.
Yes, 7, yes.
So I had to like gather everything, get my camera person, my driver, told them like 7 a.m. we have to be at the trust. These are people who are observing time. Yeah. So we were there by 7:07. 7:07, and they're like, "Hi, you're late." Like, what? It's only 7 minutes. I'm like, "You're late." Like, then she explained to me why I was supposed to be there at 7, because they usually keep time. They take their baby elephants for herding, I think. So they wanted us to like take shots of them doing something, which I don't remember. But then she was like, "Oh, it's okay. You can still shoot anyway." So after we did the interview, I was like, I have to do a PTC. You know what a PTC is, right?
No,
PTC stands for Piece to Camera. It's a jargon in media.
Okay.
Piece to Camera. The last thing we say, "Hi, reporting for this and this. I'm Alvin Kaunda," and then we sign out. I was really scared, to be honest. At that time, I was scared, but I was like, let me just do it. And the cameraman was actually somewhere like some few meters. When you watch the video, that was actually zoomed. The cameraman was way far.
Oh, he was fast. So the camera guy was scared.
Yeah, I was scared. Every camera guy that I go with are usually scared to like approach animals. They usually zoom my videos on my stand-up.
Yeah.
So I told him I want the elephants to be in the background.
Yep.
So I kept my distance from the elephants when I'm doing my PTC, just in case like it was actually like some few meters, like I don't know, 3 or maybe 5 meters from them. I didn't know like there was actually one that was coming. If you closely watch the video, you see the baby elephants actually came up to me. It's not like I was very close to them. They actually came up to me. Came to you. Yeah. So I did, and it was something that I practiced. And the funny thing is that was actually my first feature story. My editor was like up on my neck. I was like, "You've never done a feature story. You should do a feature story." I was actually interning at that time at KBC. I was not getting paid or anything. So he was telling me, "You've never done a feature story. You've been here all this time and never done a feature story." And then I told him like a joke. I said, "The day I'll do a feature story, the whole world will know I've done a feature story." Like a joke.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Okay."
Boom.
Yeah.
It happened.
Yeah, and then it happened. I was surprised. To be honest, I was really surprised. So back to the scene where I was shooting the PTC. So I started first take, second take. I was like, no, third take. You know, it's actually my first time, so like I have to like fourth take, because I had written it. Then I was like, it's not supposed to have cuts. It should be like one shot.
It should be one shot
all the way. So if you make a mistake, you have to start over again. You have to start over again. So for me, I did the first, second, third, and then I think it was my 10th take.
So you had done a few takes?
A few takes, yeah. I'd done a few takes. Because remember, I said it was actually my first time, so I was actually nervous.
You were nervous?
I was nervous.
Okay. So all this time, they were just coming close to you?
Yeah, they were just coming close to me. So at that point, when I was like all the way into it, I was like, this is my last take, because the camera guy was actually getting frustrated. He was like, but as much as he understood that it was actually my first time, but it gets to a point where like, come on, man. So it got to the point where like, to the point now, the viral video where the elephant came up to me. I was like, no. First I was sure, I was like, what? That's an elephant in my mind now. I'm sure that's an elephant, maybe it's a tree. That's what is running through my mind, but at the same time,
so you had not seen it?
I didn't even look back.
Okay.
When you look at the video, I felt like the first contact came on my back here. Like I was like, I just kept on going. No, the first elephant actually came and then came to me close, and then I gently put my hand on top of its head. Like, Alvin, this is an elephant. I was like, let me just stay calm, focus on the PTC. Yep. My mind was so much focused on what I was saying. that I was ignoring. I was literally ignoring everything in my mind, or everything around me. So I was like, no, I have to do this. This is the last one I'm doing. So there's no way I'm stopping it.
Yeah.
And then the first elephant came up to me, came beside me, and then I put my hand on top of the elephant's head, and then I kept on going.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what? Another elephant? The one that was disturbing me from the back now. Yeah. The famous is called Kindani.
Oh, it's called Kindani.
But then I'm planning to go to make a visit. I was told they took him to. He grew up and they took him to Savo.
Yes. Yeah. Have you been to the Savo Shedrick place?
No, I haven't.
It's a good. I mean, it's a good experience. It's inside Savo.
Okay.
They are bigger, still playful. Yeah. When they get bigger, they take them there.
Yeah.
Still playful, but a bit more wild.
Okay, I was told to maybe to do a documentary when I'm visiting that place and go look for that specific elephant that made me famous.
You should do that.
A nice documentary.
You should do that. When are you going?
I don't know. I just got the idea the other day.
If you need help, let me know.
Please, I do.
Then you can see.
What are you shooting?
Giraffes.
Oh, giraffes.
Yeah, the horizon.
I remember it was November 11th, 2022 on a Friday. I'll never forget that day because that day was really life-changing for me, to be honest.
Yeah, so the video didn't play on TV.
It didn't play. That we actually got back and then I just posted the video on the same day. That blooper, because we had to stop, and then after, you remember when the trunk got to my mouth, I couldn't continue, so I just had to laugh. Because at first it was really ticklish, but at the same time in my mind I'm like, this is dangerous. This is a wild animal. Then remember I mentioned I'm also not I'm a very daring person. I'm not scared of animals. Yeah. Totally not. Even, to be honest, I'm not even scared of lions. Yeah. So.
So it didn't make it to your final cut.
The actual
for the TV for the story,
the one that
the
went
feature
viral.
Story. The one that went viral. That video, your news station KBC.
Yeah,
they didn't play it on TV.
They didn't.
Okay, so then you decided, let me just post it on my Instagram.
Yeah, because it was all raw footage. I was like, going through my phone. I was like, look at this. Let me take this and put it up on my Instagram. Yeah, so I just put it up on my Instagram, and then the following morning I'm like, it was on Saturday. It stayed on Saturday and then Sunday, because on Saturday and Sunday I didn't go to work, and then Sunday I started receiving calls from my friends now. Like, hey, I've seen you on TikTok. Hey, my friends from Mombasa. Hey, bro, nakuona TikTok, nakuona Instagram. First, when I had TikTok is when I was like, TikTok, because I don't use TikTok. I don't use TikTok at all. I was like, TikTok? Mimi TikTok, nimekuwa TikTok na elephants. Like I received over 10 calls in a period of 1 hour. I'm like, that's serious, let me check. People like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter,
even YouTube. I saw ABC News, it's a big news corporation in US, America.
Yeah.
The videos on YouTube, on their YouTube channel, and it has 2 million views.
Yeah. That's I think that's not even much. Yeah, I've seen one on I think on Instagram is 56 million views. Yeah.
Damn. So do you think, because you're the new age journalist, right?
Yeah.
We have the older cats like Akina Larry Madawo. Not that I'm saying he's old, but he's been in the system for a while.
Yeah.
Now he's working for CNN. We have Mark Masai, we have Trevor.
Yeah.
So, and you're the current new age journalist. Do you think social media is good for journalism? Because there's a conversation whereby people say that, for example, I'm not a journalist, but if I have a really good, unique story, I can just say it on social media and get the traction, or I can get the views.
Yeah.
But a journalist is paid and should be able to come up with new stories that make it big and have big views. But for me, I'm not a licensed journalist. I can still do it.
Yeah.
Based on your experience, you kind of got big through social media and incorporating it with your work. Yeah. So do you think the current journalist would, instead of hating on social media and hating on us who, we're not trained journalists, they would just embrace it and use it to their own?
Right now there's a war in newsrooms. There's a war in between mainstream media and social media.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like it's usually mainstream media that attacks social media. Social media has no problem.
Yeah, we don't have a problem.
Yeah, it doesn't have any problem with mainstream media. Usually, mainstream media that attacks social media. But let's say, for example, if you have the audience, I feel like if you have the audience, then why not? Because let's say, for example, Larry Madowo, he has over 1 million followers on Instagram alone.
Yeah.
And he uses it to like showcase his work, or maybe where he is working from. And it's also good because as much as mainstream media attacks social media, but social media still markets mainstream media because, for example, still using Larry, his 1 million followers, he likes show people like, wow, today I'm working in Portugal, today I'm working in Spain, I'm doing a story. So people are like, which story or what is he working on? And then people will still go to CNN to see what he's done. Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
He's found a way to balance both.
Yeah, exactly.
Mainstream and social.
Yeah.
Which is what you think the current journalists should do.
True.
They should have a personality
on
social media and also be professional enough to do mainstream.
Yeah. And also for me, but ever since the video, I try to like people now see me as not only a journalist, but also a conservationist, of which I am.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm also a conservationist. So I can't, for mainstream media, you have to be neutral.
Yes.
You don't have in media, you as a journalist, some of the ethics is that you don't give your personal opinion. You be neutral, don't be biased, and then let people decide. But with social media, I can give my personal opinion because it's my account. I'm the one who manages it. I say what I want to say.
Yes.
Yeah, so I have that freedom. But for mainstream media, it's you to like just tell us what is happening. That's it. Don't give me your opinion. We don't need your opinion as a journalist. And by the way, that's a very huge mistake when you give your opinion in news features or stories that we do. They usually cut off there. No, that story can't go like that. You're not supposed to give your opinion. Then that's how they kill a story. When you give your opinion, they kill a story completely.
Yes.
Yeah, you're supposed to let the audience decide if there's a decision to be made, or maybe just tell us what's going on and that's it. Yeah.
So then, okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting take. I don't know what they are looking at. Most probably a lion.
But what's that?
Rhinos.
Oh, rhinos.
Yeah, but they're covered in long grass. Huh? I don't know if the audience can see it. I don't know. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, we have 2 rhinos here. I rewatched the video just to see what you're talking about.
Yeah, true.
Because I was waiting for that viral moment, and it was funny. Especially you trying to hold it in and then eventually just busting out. As a journalist, do you think that there are things that you can do or other people can do for conservation, for the future of conservation?
Yeah, so much. I think journalists play a major role, or maybe have a big role to play in conservation, because people get to know about conservation through, again, social media and mainstream media, through stories that we tell. Mm-hmm. And as a journalist is a storyteller, someone who tells stories.
Yeah.
And so using my influence, or maybe since I got famous, people nowadays listen to me, and they say, like, they believe what I say. So I usually use that leverage, or maybe advantage to say what, or maybe to educate people on conservation, because all my stories ever since that time, remember I said that's my story, that's my first story I ever did. So every story that I usually do on TV, I make sure like I talk about the problems all the way, and then say the solutions at the end of the story. I usually say the solution, as much as sometimes they remove it because they still feel like it's my opinion. But I try to put it in a way that, in a statistical kind of way, like say, I say like according to IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature, or maybe according to WWF, or according to statistics done by KWS, it is say that if, like, let's say if 15 million trees are planted by this period of time, climate change. That's my opinion, but I try to put it in a way that it doesn't have to look like it's me saying it. Yeah.
Okay, so you use data, statistical data that has been
exactly
that has been done through research.
Yeah.
To drive your opinion.
Yeah.
in conservation.
Yeah,
that's clever.
Yeah, because we have all the solutions. I can't say like there's new solutions that no one has not discovered to like conservation. We have all the solutions but again, the problem comes to implementing it. So that's why we have to keep on reminding people like these solutions are there. Everyone knows about the solution. Like people, when you ask someone like how can we conserve wildlife, I'm sure anyone will tell you the answer. Like if we protect our wildlife, if we don't kill them, we avoid human wildlife conflict. Everyone knows that.
Yes.
But the problem comes to implementing it. We have exhausted all the ideas or maybe all the solutions that can be there, but implementing it is where the problem comes in.
So that being said, I know you like being called the elephant whisperer.
Yeah, the elephant whisperer, the elephant man. I have several names: whisperer, the elephant man, elephant reporter.
Yes, I saw in there's an interview you did.
Okay, with
Standard Media Group.
Okay, yeah.
And you said how people call you elephant man.
Yeah.
But you don't like it, you prefer elephant whisperer.
Yeah.
So that being said, I will title this video Alvin Kaunda, Elephant Whisperer.
Yeah, because there's actually a musician in Kenya called Elephant Man.
Yeah, even
way back. Yeah.
Even in Jamaica.
Yeah. So like when people hear Elephant Man, especially in Kenya, they think maybe I'm trying to like mimic that guy.
Yes.
Is that a turtle?
No,
it's a rock.
It's a rock.
A tortoise. Not
yeah,
a turtle.
it looks like.
Yeah.
It does.
It's just a rock.
It's a rock.
Yeah. So I prefer the elephant whisperer. Giraffe.
Yeah, giraffe. Can you see it from here?
Yeah.
Having its breakfast there.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that you like drawing.
Yeah, I draw, but not every day. Depends when I'm bored or when I'm home alone. I usually stay alone, so on the weekends when I'm not working, I just like pull out something then draw.
Do you have any of your designs on your phone or?
Not really. But on my Instagram highlights, they're there.
They're there. Okay.
Yeah. So.
And I read somewhere when you were saying that you started drawing. I don't know. I can see. Let's go this. You started drawing during COVID.
Because at that time, that was like a really intense time. Yeah, because at that time everyone was at home, the lockdown, there was nothing you could do, and then especially in Mombasa, like there's literally nowhere you could go. So at that time when I was stuck home, just I used the opportunity to draw and stuff. That's when I like started posting my things on social media, because you had no other options. Social media was your best friend. So that's when I started posting them now, like seriously posting them. Then people were like, "Oh, you actually draw, this is very nice." I was like, "Yeah, I have been drawing for all my life." So that's when people realized that I can also draw. It's like, you see, my Instagram account, the one I'm using right now, is actually an account that I opened. I started it strictly to post my sketches, the ones that I had done. But after COVID, and then I just decided to I had another personal Instagram account with it had over 5,000 followers at that time. But then I permanently deleted it, completely did away with it. And then
why?
It was also a moment of depression at that time in 2020. I felt like the world is ending, and I've not done anything important.
Yeah.
To be honest, I felt like that was the end of the world. Maybe we won't even get to 2023, maybe. Yeah.
Any aspirations, any goals? Do you have any set goals that you want to achieve?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I want to be okay. I want to,
in the next 5 years.
In the next 5 years, I want to be like this Steve Irwin of Kenya.
His son is currently doing.
Robert. Robert is he's doing it, but still I can be like the Steve Irwin of Kenya or of Africa. But they have big goals to the point that do you know Dean Schneider?
Who?
Dean Schneider. This guy who keeps land from South Africa.
Yeah, the one who has
white hair.
He's dyed his hair.
Yeah. That guy, usually I'm so aggressive to the point that I've even tried DMing him like, hey, please invite me, like, like please invite me on to like come to see what you're doing.
Yeah, we've seen an ostrich here.
Yes,
I want Alvin to do a story.
Wow,
on the spot about this ostrich.
It's walking away.
Yeah, it's a
male.
It's a male. Yes.
Yeah, it's a male ostrich.
Tell us the story.
Deep into the Nairobi National Park, a very elusive bird, the largest bird on land. This bird cannot fly. An ostrich can lay egg that can weigh up to 2 kilograms. Reaching speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour, an ostrich can outrun a human. Like, should I proceed?
Are you done?
I don't know, but I know like so much about them.
Yeah.
What
else do you know about them?
I know this is the male ostrich, and how do I know that? It's because of the feathers. Male ostriches usually have very dark or maybe black feathers and white, and then female ostriches have gray feathers.
Yes.
Yeah.
In birds, male birds are prettier than female birds.
Okay.
When you study birds, you'll notice that even peacocks.
I've never seen a peacock before. I've never seen one.
You should go to Mount Kenya Wildlife Conservancy.
Yeah.
In Nanyuki, they have plenty.
Well, I was in Laikipia, and that place is full of wildlife. What?
Yeah.
I love that place.
Yeah, Laikipia is really good for wildlife. I always say that I would also want to, if I was to live somewhere else, apart from Nairobi and Mombasa, it's Kilifi or Nanyuki.
Yeah, true.
Laikipia areas.
So you're asking me about my goals, like in the next 5 years?
Yes, your goal. What are your wildlife journalistic goals in the next 5 years, or even 10 years? Like ultimately, what do you want to achieve in the field of wildlife and journalism?
I want to win an award.
Okay.
This is something that I've always wanted.
Yeah.
I
feel like with the video you did, you should have won an award by now.
Okay. There's something. Let me tell you another secret too.
Yeah.
I was Media Council of Kenya had they had this award, it's called Annual Journalism Excellence Award,
Yes.
an Annual Journalism Excellence Award. And then I was supposed to put up my video for the elephants, the one that went viral. But then during that time when we were putting it up, before the deadline, I had so many frustrations, which I can't talk about.
Yeah.
Because most of them were work related.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm not even going to put this video.
Yeah.
But then I don't know if you came across this. There's a story I did on a missing child. Did you?
I didn't see that.
Okay, there's a story I did on a missing child.
Yeah.
And at KBC, KBC is a state broadcaster. So when people have problems, or maybe medical appeals, or maybe missing children or missing persons, they usually come, the officers at KBC, and then they tell us, we do a story for them. I have my person, they give us photos, we put them up on TV.
Yeah.
And then just to help them find their missing person, maybe the medical appeals. So there was this parent, actually, I'll just talk about it shortly because I feel like I have to for you to understand the story.
Yeah.
There's a father who came at KBC. His child was missing, 10-year-old was missing. And then at that time there was no reporter. I was the only reporter there, and then the editor came up to me and was like, go do a story. There's a person at the gate, there's a man at the gate, his child is missing, go do a story on him. Yeah. So we just did the story. I sat down with the father in an interview kind of way. He told me about his child, told him, talk about your child so that you put it up on TV. And then he sent me the missing child's photos on WhatsApp. Yeah. And then I did a story, the way a normal person or normal journalist will do the story, reporter. 1 month down the line, after I did the story, after 1 month, I was I was out in the field doing a separate story, and then when I was done with that story, I think it was they were launching something in Parklands in Nairobi. We were waiting for our car to come pick us up and then take us back to KBC. It was very early in the morning because we went there at 6 a.m., did the story, and then we were done by 9 a.m. So we're waiting for the car, and then there's a group of street kids, like 10 of them passed in front of us. I was with the camera person. And the camera person I was with on that day was the same camera person whom I did a story with.
The parent.
The parent, yeah. So like street kids, like 10 of them passed in front of us. I was like, wait. Then I called that boy, one of the boys, so the lost boy. And it's kuja, and then they were scared and the rest ran. So I told him, kuja tu. He was also scared, but I told him, kuja tu, sitakufanyia kitu, kuja uchukue nipate lunch. So he came. So when he came, I asked him.
So he was the kid.
The kid. Yeah, so I told the camera, the cameraman was like, what do you want to do with this kid? I was like,
oh my God.
I know this kid. He asked me like, are you sure? I told him, yeah, this is the kid. You remember the parent who came? He was like, yeah, this is the kid. Yeah. He was like, acha jokes. Acha mcheze. Because I'm very like
playful.
Yeah, I'm very playful. I was like, acha mcheze. Yeah. So I told him, I'm sure this is the kid. And the kid was like very dirty. He was very different from the photos because the photos were like, he was.
But that's amazing
clean.
how you recognized him.
Yeah, I recognized him from the kid. So I was like, are you sure that's him? The camera guy, my camera person is called Andrew. Andrew asked me, are you sure that's him? I told him, yeah, that's him. Are you sure? Yeah. Then he asked me, what do you remember about this kid? I told him, I remember everything his father told me because I was so moved. I remember when the father was telling me the story, he was like, I was so moved. So I told him I remember everything. And I told him everything. Like, his name was Harmony Ihako. He was 10 years old. He got lost at Umoja 2 Estate on 28th December, 5 p.m. That's what I told him.
Wow, so the father had to, and the mother had to go through a new year without...
Yeah.
What? So what did you do?
So what I did, so people started gathering, and then people thought like we wanted to abduct the child. So we just had to show them our badges of like, we are media people from KBC, and then they understood. So I asked the boy, what's your name? He told me, my name is Harmony. In Swahili, obviously. Akanambia, mimi naitwa Harmony. So nikamwambia babako yuko wapi? Akasema babangu yuko huku. Sijui niliko, kama ulimwona mwisho lini? Akasema sikumbuki, kitambo. So I called the father.
Because you still had his contacts?
I still had his contacts. So I called the father, but sasa my phone didn't have credit. So I used my camera, Andrew's phone. I called the father. I remember when the father was telling me, when I was interviewing him, he told me like he had also received several phone calls which were fake. They told him like, we have your child. Yeah, you know how Kenyans can be sometimes. Yeah. So even like paid, he even went to Namanga border. Someone told him, I've seen your child. Send money, he's in a bad state. So he used to like sending money.
Yeah.
So I called him through the camera, Andrew's phone. So I told him, did you find your child? He was like, no, I've never found him. I'm almost giving up.
Oh God.
So I told him, please call me through my phone.
Yeah.
So that like we talk properly, because maybe he saw a strange number, and then maybe he would have thought like someone is like. I introduced myself. I told him, Alvin, remember the one I did a story for you? Yeah, just call me. So you have my number, call me on my phone.
What?
So he called me on my phone. So I told him, you sure you didn't find your child? He said, no, sijai kumpata tata. Nenda tu kupiga polisi tu ni report kama amekufa. So I told him, I have your child.
What?
Just casually.
Yeah.
I was like, mazee, wajua nimedanganywa sana mazee. Why would I lie to you? It was like, I told him, I have your child and I'm serious. Come to KBC, I have your child. He thought I was kidding. Uko serious? Ambia kuja KBC basi uone.
So
I took the child.
You took the child?
Yeah.
Alikubali kuletwa?
Yeah, alikubali. I told him, twende nikakunulie chakula. So at that time, I only had 160 bob.
Oh my God.
In my life. I only had 160 bob.
Because you didn't even have airtime.
I didn't even have airtime. You know, sometimes you can be broke, hey.
But there are things that happen in life you can't explain.
True.
Because if you did not, you're a wildlife journalist. If you did not do that kind of story, which is completely different from what you're supposed to be doing, then even if you met that child in that setting, hungemjua ni nani?
Okay, there's also like the stories on my Instagram. We'll just find it there.
Yeah.
So I took the child to KBC, and then the father came, and then before, when he came to the gate, you know, he's not allowed to like walk inside first before like I approve, or maybe someone gets him from the gate. So I prepared everything to like catch the raw emotions from I took the camera person, told him to like prepare, because I was like, this is a story. This is a nice story, so we can do a story on this. And that's how I reunited that family.
That's such a really sweet
story.
And
the funny thing is that it also went viral. Even Media Council of Kenya, MCK, wrote an article about it.
Yeah.
And they were like, Alvin Kaunda should win
You should definitely win. Here's the thing. I saw you were nominated for an award.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
If you don't win that award,
I don't know. But that award, I think people have to vote. But if people think I don't, but I know I'll just win an award.
You for sure. When is the voting date?
It's already. I was told yesterday.
It's passed.
No, it's still ongoing. But I was told in 7 days is the deadline.
I don't know if I'll be able to get this video out in 7 days. But if I do, please vote. Those are two different incidences, especially that last one of reuniting a street child, a child who became a street child.
Yeah.
To the parent, and he's a 10-year-old. You know, 10-year-old is a very young child.
Yeah, very young child.
So eventually, angesahau tu kabisa and it's a month. Azoe maisha being in the streets and
he was so dirty, he was so messed up, and you wouldn't even recognize him from the photos. I just did because I don't know, something just drew me to him.
Yeah, and I'm sure the parents were so happy.
Yeah, they were so happy. I did the story. It was so nice. It's on. You just see it on my social media handles. Yeah, because I just thought like let me just share this, because I usually put like very nice moments.
What? That's such a heartwarming story.
Yeah, true.
So far, what you've achieved in a span of a year.
Yeah. Someone told me like you've achieved something that takes 20 years for someone to achieve. And
it's very fulfilling. Like you end up realizing, or you end up thinking to yourself that this is what I should be doing. This is exactly what life has brought me to do. True. Because reuniting a child with a parent in that kind of way.
Yeah, and then the fact that I'm the same person who did the story.
Yeah, you're the same person who did the story, so you remember. And then here's the thing, because you do a lot of stories every single day and every other day, the fact that you remembered the face of the child, because not very few people have that muscle memory or that thing of remembering face memory. They remember faces.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether he was dirty or not clean, the pictures ulionyeshwa na mzazi, the child was
very clean. Yeah, his hair was shaved and
but now it's a month later, mtoto amepotea, he's dirty, he's probably not had a shower the whole month.
Yeah, true.
He's not been eating well, so he's skinnier.
Very skinny. Even I remember when his father saw him for the first time, I asked him, has he changed? He was like, he has grown. Amekonda, hakuwa hivi. I was like, wow, okay.
And then wewe sasa ndio umemrecognize and it's not like ulikuwa unamtafuta. You're doing something completely different, and then ile tu umeona two street kids and then you look at them and then boom, you realize yule mtoto.
Yeah, because you know I usually feel for these street kids when I see them out, and then I'm like watoto hawajaonekana ni hawajakula yani kama siku zote, and then mimi niko hapa tu sijakula since 6 na tayari nimeanza kulalamika. Usually that's what I usually see when I see these street kids.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it makes you also appreciate like what you have, because find yourself, if you haven't eaten in an hour, you're already complaining. Mizi, paka nikule kwanza. Mimi paka nile, siwezi kabisa. But then you look at these people, like someone comes up to you, as much as again in Nairobi you're not supposed to trust anyone, but then someone comes up to you like sijakula siku 3, and then you imagine what I usually do. I usually imagine myself like me not eating in 3 days. Tangekufa man. So like that's all. When I usually see street kids, I must take a look at them. Yeah. So that's that moment when I saw those kids, I was like, this kid, and then I was like, wait, usini ule mtoto ule. So that's what happened.
I'm so happy for you, man.
Yeah, thanks. But then there's one moment one thing also I don't know if you also came across that time of me, like, did you go through my TikTok?
No, I'm not on TikTok.
Oh, you're not on TikTok? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's something also I didn't like it because it went viral. Okay, I actually went viral like 3 times.
Yeah.
So the third time was that moment in when I was doing the story of a political story, my first political story. I don't know, did you come across the video of when the reporter was doing a live TV and then someone tried to steal his phone on air?
No, I did not see
that
it.
was also me. I also went viral for that, but I didn't like it, so I didn't even post it.
So wait, you are in the field?
Yeah, I was in the field.
A political story.
Yeah. You know, okay, let me tell you about that. It's also a short story. I was that day I was in the office, and then suddenly there were no reporters. I was like, why are there no reporters here in this office? So I was like, let me just stay here then, since maybe there's no work. That's why everyone is out. Kumbe all the reporters had went into hiding because that day was kwa maandamano.
Oh, so they don't want to do those.
Yeah, you know, like
stories.
maandamano is like no one wants to do it, but sometimes just the job, so you just have to do it
because of the potential risk that you're putting yourself into.
Exactly. So I was there. So I was like, I'm a wildlife journalist. They can't send me to such political stories. And then the editor came up to like, I remember his stall. I don't want to mention his name. Akaingia hivi kwa ofisi akaangalia, you know, the story like kama giraffe. Akaangalia was like, where are all these reporters? And then akaniona mimi. It's like, Alvin, have you ever done a political story? I was like, no, I've never. Well, today is your lucky day. Kachukue camera. How is that lucky? Kachukue camera. Uende this gown and you mess out the name of
Jacaranda.
Not Jacaranda, ile nyingine.
Kamkunji.
Yeah, Kamkunji, yeah. Kamkunji. I was like, Kamkunji kule kwa Raila. I was like, hey, huko. I was like, okay, it's an assignment. You can't like say no. So I just did it. And then when I got there, I was giving a live link. And then there was actually someone who was trying to steal from me, from my phone, from my pocket, on live TV. Yeah, it's just like just Google too. Just Google my name, like everything will come up.
Yeah.
So
they're trying to steal your phone.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I said like when in like, you know how Mombasa people can be. Like, when in and then you just like we stopped everything and then got into the car and then
left.
Yeah, immediately because they started getting violent. Yeah.
And
so like,
at the time your cameraman hakuona.
No, you know, as a cameraman, you even like focus on the white balance on the phone. So you know, so long as like the angle is perfect, the framing is okay. Yeah. Like is monitoring. It's not like watching what's happening. And then there were so many people. I could just see in the video too. Hey, it was like, it was messed up. Okay, trending is not a bad thing, but trending for like such things.
Yeah, but you see, again, it's not your fault.
Yeah, it's not my fault. I understood, but I love trending, but trending like for the good cause and good
for
things.
The good, yeah, it's not your fault.
Yes.
So your mom is very supportive of.
Yeah, my parents, both of my parents are very supportive. Like my whole family, my whole family, I'd say. They're very supportive, from my sisters.
And I'm sure every story they see, they call you.
Yeah, they usually say, I'm like, I usually tell them, today I'm on TV, watch me. But nowadays I don't tell them because like they're used to it.
Now they're used to it, they're like, you like kijana wetu.
Yeah. But my dad still asks me, like, whenever he's like, sometimes he watches KBC, he's like, mbona kuniambia leo ulikuwa kwa TV? Ambia hadi usizoi maisha, nimekwambia mara ngapi. Kwa itakuwa kila, naambia sasa itakuwa kila siku iko kwa TV na kwambia zoea tu hii maisha. I usually tell him, daddy, bye. Sasa yafaa uko ushazoea maisha, yani ukiniona kwa TV ni mambo ya kawaida.
That's very wholesome that they.
Yeah, they're very supportive. Yeah, very supportive.
We've come across a herd of zebras and these are impalas.
These are gazelles.
Gazelles, yeah.
Thompson gazelles.
It's a beautiful zebra crossing, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Do you know they are black with white stripes, not white with black stripes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are also types of zebras by there.
Yeah, my favorite is the gravy one.
Yeah.
That is usually found in Laikipia mostly. They are not found here.
By the way, I feel like people, especially still in Kenya, people know that zebras. People know there are zebras in Kenya, but that's eland.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest.
The biggest antelope. Yeah.
Yeah.
So people know the zebras, but people don't know like there are actually types of zebras. At the same time, people know there are these antelopes.
Yeah.
But they don't know there are types of antelopes. Or maybe don't know the difference between...
They group them.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last question that I have, and I think I know the answer to this question.
Okay.
But I'll ask you. I ask every guest that I have.
Okay.
What's your favorite wildlife animal? What's your favorite animal?
Trust me, you don't know the answer to that question.
Okay, can I guess?
Yes.
I would have said elephant.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's giraffe.
Ah, interesting. Yeah. Okay. Why giraffe?
People usually think it's an elephant for me, but it's not. Because I was for quite a long time, I was very short.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I used to like remember I said I used to watch a documentary. So like I used to watch these giraffes. And I'm like, wow, they're so tall. They're so tall. And then I'm like, I wish I could be tall just like these animals. So that's how I started loving giraffe. And then plus if you check my Instagram page. So like most of my posts are usually giraffes, like most of them. Yeah. So my favorite animal is a giraffe.
Is a giraffe,
yeah.
Not an elephant.
No, it's not even an elephant. It's only elephants just made me famous.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I hope to do this again. We will do it again after you come back from Savo.
There's something. Oh, it's just a warthog.
I
thought it was a lion.
Yeah, a lion at the gate.
Did you see the viral video of the lion?
Let me show you guys. Yeah, I saw it on the park. Let me show you guys this warthog. Yeah, the exit of the park. Warthogs are very strong, eh? If it decides to hit you with its head, there's a guy I know I work with. He was going to the office, and then because they roam around our offices. It was roaming around the offices, and then sijui alikuwa anafanya nini, hakuiona, and then wakakutana tu, ikacharge, ikamgonga, akaanguka, akavunjika mkono. Yeah.
Kitu ndogo hivi.
So they're very strong. Yeah. So thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah. Thank you very much to Brian for featuring me.
Yes, and when you go to Savo, when you come back, tutafanya another video. We'll talk about your experience with.
Yeah.
With what's the name of the elephant?
Kindani.
Kindani.
Yeah, Kindani.
Sawa.